Welcome to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast that talks about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm Sean, and with my fellow American Rodney, we break down the good, the bad, and the just plain weird. It's quite the journey, so join us for the ride.
Swedish winter, it's kicking my... It's really cold. The Swedish winter. But
You could have been more
bold,
bold.
It was chilly today, man. It was...
If I didn't have to go pick up Dylan from preschool this afternoon, I would have just said nope and turned around and gone back inside.
It took every ounce of determination to go take my walk today. And it
was horrible. Like, I went out without a hat, without gloves, and I was like, oh man, it's not going to be that bad. I was like, I couldn't feel my hands by the time I got him and I picked him up, and the teachers are like, oh yeah, so today we did some singing and dancing. I'm like, I don't care, we're getting out of here. Come on, Dylan, let's go.
Yeah. It's like one of those, it's almost like a rookie move, right? It's like, I mean, it's, fairly light outside, and then it's like this, I don't even know what you would call it. It's
stinging cold.
That's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what it is. On the walk, I saw a couple of nice little places down here in Nynäshamn that I was going to take pictures of. And that would involve taking my gloves off. And I was like, I'll just take a nice little mental picture of this scene, and we'll store that for...
No exposed skin. Nothing at all.
No.
Man, speaking of rookie mistakes, no one told me it was a red day on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
And then they claimed, it's All Saints Day. I'm like, no, All Saints Day already happened, man. That happens on the 2nd of November.
Yeah.
No, apparently it's on the, what was that, the 6th?
And
I'm like, well, I guess we're out of wine now, aren't we?
And you know what? It's funny because I think we had this exact same conversation a year ago.
You're not expecting this one. It just comes out of nowhere. No one says anything about it, and then it like always seems to land on a Saturday. And you're like, are you serious?
Yeah.
You got to put like billboards up, people. They love not selling alcohol, so they should be all excited. Be prepared. You cannot buy alcohol on Saturday.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You went out without headwear and gloves, and you missed Systembolaget.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
I went out without hat and gloves today.
Okay.
So it's like, where's these things come in threes, don't they? So there must be a third.
It's coming, man. It is coming. Lena called me on her way to work, and she was like, oh, yeah, it's snowing a little bit up here.
Yeah, that's what Renata said, too. She went over to work over on Kungsholmen today, and she said apparently people were saying it was snowing. I'm like, ugh, no. It's the beginning of November, man.
And it's just that pretend snow, because a little bit fell outside here behind our place. So I was working, and I just saw a little bit of the...
That's when you have to go throw the charcoal on Duchess and be like, back, ye snow gods, back.
Right. And when it does snow a lot, I have to be careful, because depending upon where I light the grill, I could cause an avalanche from the roof, from like the roof area. That's happened a couple times before, Where...
Oh my God! I'm like classic Looney Tunes. The snow just comes right off.
Yeah, that would be me.
Lena, get some paper towels.
She's like, again. Yeah. Hey, so we have in the past kind of made it a thing to avoid politics. We really haven't delved into politics. And we're not going to start now. Hey, so anyway, Lena is tempting the fate of the delivery gods. She has actually she has ordered a parcel that is being delivered to the PostNord locker boxes that they dropped off up in our parking area.
I hope she doesn't actually want it or spent any money on this thing. Like it better be like wish.com.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to film the whole experience, of us going up there and retrieving the goods and bringing my crowbar and my.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're giving it a lot more credit. You think the package is going to be in that set of boxes,
right?
That's a whole other step you got to get through.
I keep on getting this visual of, when you go to like fairs and stuff where they have that whack the weasel, the whack-a-mole, right? And I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen with this PostNord thing. It's going to be like all the doors are going to like take turns opening, and you just have to be really quick to see whose package you're going to get.
God, get your hand cut off. I saw one of them like in the middle of the city the other day, just like in like the middle of the street practically. And I'm sure it was for like the surrounding apartments and stuff, right. But like it was just in the middle of the sidewalk. It was so bizarre. I'm like, I don't think it's supposed to be installed like that, guys.
But you just wonder. You wonder. I mean, when they go out, right? They know how big this thing is, and I mean, Stockholm is a pretty.
It was like, what's the thing called in the middle of Stockholm? It looks like a giant camshaft.
Sergels Torg.
Yeah, there you go. Right. It's like, how that's just sitting there in the middle of everything. That's what this PostNord box was like, but on a slightly smaller scale. It was just in the middle of stuff.
But I mean, I don't know where else they're gonna.
You had one job.
Yeah. So I mean, ours must have been a dream case up here. They were like, "Hey, look, a parking lot." They were like,
"Oh, they actually installed it against a building too." I mean, that's how post boxes are typically installed.
Yeah, ours. I don't know if ours is fastened or just leaning up against it. It looks it's kind of sketchy.
It's probably got a little gorilla glue.
Kind of sketchy. A little duct tape. A little duct tape.
Can you even get duct tape here?
Yes, it's called silver tape.
Silver tape.
And I bought it here at like Clas Ohlson, at one of the discount stores when we moved here. Mm-hmm. I saw it, and it was on the shelf, and I'm like, okay, I have to buy it. You have to have silver tape. You can't live anywhere and not have this duct tape, right? So I buy it. I should have known that, like everything else, there are cheap versions of stuff.
It doesn't have the thread inside of it.
I think it had like 4 threads, but it just didn't really stick to stuff. It came off the roll really easy, and it didn't really. No,
like it's been recycled already.
It was just.
Well, you know how they like eco-friendly stuff up here,
right?
That's probably a selling point.
Exactly. Doesn't work, but it's good for the environment.
Yeah, it won't stick on whatever you're sticking it to for the end of time. It'll just fall off after like a month. Ooh, I like that.
I'll have to buy 5 rolls. I mean, how environmentally friendly is that?
Oh, for real. At least you found it in Clas Ohlson, though. Like, because to go into Bauhaus, or like I imagine Biltema's the same way. It's like walking into a Home Depot. So, anyone wearing the uniform of that place, they see a customer and they scatter into the corners.
Yeah. Those are the ones you have to corner and like talk to them in English, like really cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They don't like that.
And then, hey, you really want to get their heads to explode? Start talking inches. Be like,
Oh yeah. No, I have to pull it up on the website. Like, I know you have it. Where is this?
Yes. No.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. You could definitely make people's lives and jobs a little bit more challenging.
Yeah. But I think I'm gonna have to make the old trip over to Clas Ohlson soon, being that it's that time of year. Got to re-up some of the Christmas lights and stuff, so they don't go up until after Thanksgiving. No. Like, I'm not one of those people watching like Hallmark movies already. But at least to start gathering some supplies.
Yeah. We were up yesterday and did a little bit of clothes shopping, and while we were up there, it's one of those things where you're in the area, you might as well just pop into every store that's in the area. So we were like in El Giganten, and then we went into Jysk, and then we went into Rusta, and we went into like all the different stores. And we forgot that I think it was like 2 Christmases ago, we threw away the Christmas garland around our door. We've always put up like that.
You mean the wreath?
No, it's
circle
like
thing.
It goes around the frame of the door.
Oh, it's like a boa.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And last year when we tried to get a new one, they were completely sold out. So this time we were just like, honey, hold these 2 pounds of peanut M&Ms. I'm grabbing some garland.
Oh, I love it. I did notice I'm getting like blasted all over Instagram with what do you call it? The Advent calendar. I'm like, okay, that at least makes sense because you've got to buy it ahead of December 1st. So that I kind of get, but don't be hitting me up with holiday specials yet.
No, we haven't even made it past Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I know.
Which brings me to another little experience we had on Saturday evening.
Oh boy.
So we're sitting down. We're in the couch. Lena's on her side of the couch. I'm on my side of the couch. We just get like comfortable, put the TV on, and then all of a sudden, ding dong, doorbell rings. Lena and I look at each other, and nobody rings the doorbell. We never. It's just something's either burning down or somebody's lost. But she gets up, goes to the door, opens it up, and all I hear is "Buseligodis, trick or treat."
Trick-or-treaters. That's November 6th, man. No. Come back next year. You're too late. I've eaten it all.
Oh, boy. And Lena was really nice to him. And she pointed out the fact that, actually, that was last weekend. And then when she closed the door and came back in, I was like, okay, well, who was it? She was like, oh, it's the neighborhood kids. And I was like, wait. So not only did the neighborhood kids come like twice, they actually came the week after Halloween. So
when they said booze or goodies, you should have said booze and like busted out the paper. Wrong weekend, kids.
Yeah. Here, have some silver tape. Just don't try and fix anything with
it. Oh my God, that's wild, man. We didn't get anyone, but what can you do? Now I'm going to have more stale candy next year when it rolls around.
Hey, we could actually swap because I wouldn't mind handing out stale candy next year. You can have whatever.
That way it'll come back. Hey, man, that guy gives out candy that's hard as a rock. Don't go over there.
And silver tape and duct tape and toothpaste and dental floss.
Oh, we had one of those in my neighborhood when I was growing up outside of Philly. Like, what was it? 4 houses down, the guy was a dentist giving out toothbrushes and floss on Halloween. I'm like, man, I don't care if you're a dentist. You don't do that. Like, come on, get out of here. You're asking your house to be TP'd.
I mean, at that age, I think that if I went trick-or-treating now, I would be probably pretty happy if somebody was handing out like Oral-B toothbrushes or something like that. But I get, when you're that small, between that and the apple crushing the cookies. But
well, it's not even like, okay, we get it. You're a dentist. You want us to have clean teeth, but you better be giving me candy too. Like there's an opportunity cost here of you handing out.
Give me something. Give me something to brush off. Give me.
Yeah. And then, of course, word gets out, and it's like every kid knows the next year to skip that house.
In the best of circumstances, they skip the house.
Exactly, yeah.
No, that my mom brought up actually a fond memory we have when we were little and had been out trick-or-treating, got a ton of candy, and were told that we could only pick a couple of items before we went to bed. And then the next day found out that my mom had chipped a tooth because she had gone into my candy bag and
busted.
Yeah, see, that's what you get. Grab it.
And he's been holding it over her ever since.
7 years old. Okay, I'm taking my goodie bag and I'm leaving. I hope you feel proud. No.
Like, hold on, this year I've constructed a makeshift electrical fence, so let me just put it inside there. Okay, now I'll go to bed.
Yeah. It's a good thing they didn't have those Apple Tag things. I would have been like, yeah, no, something's moving down there.
The Apple. I'm like, Apple Tag? No. What Apple has a tag on it? Yeah.
Motion.
Yeah. For sure. Well, nowadays you could just set it up with one of those little USB cameras to stare at it all night long. Motion sensor.
Record it and then check it out in the morning. Be like, yeah.
Put it on YouTube nowadays. Like, check out this mom.
International shaming.
Oh my god.
Do you know that Dune was released? Have you checked out? I can't remember what
Man, I can't go to the movie theater.
No.
Dylan won't even sit through Madagascar in one sitting. Like, let it and then how long is Dune? I mean, what is it? Like, was it one of those 3-hour movies?
Yeah, I think it's one. Yeah, I think it's one of those ones that they sneak in like right under 3. So that
like the Bond. We wanted to go to the new Bond film, but then that's 2 hours and 45 minutes of runtime. So and we book our babysitter in blocks of 3 hours, and I'm like, well, that's out, isn't it?
Yeah, but this one, Dune, was released on HBO Max, so it went like directly to.
Well, yeah, that now I got to get another streaming service.
But just when I thought that, because I had decided that I'm going to start weeding out and trying to get rid of stuff, because they know that things like Spotify, you're basically hooked almost for life, right? Unless something else comes up. I think.
Well, I mean, if we would have a system of if we would go back to something like what do you call it, iPods, that you would have quote unquote physical, you would download to a device or something, or even albums gets a bit crazy. Like, you can have a turntable and all that in a hi-fi, but you can't have your whole music collection in vinyl. It just gets a bit unwieldy. But I mean, at the end of the day, I would love for a proper radio, to kind of come back, some kind of version of internet radio and all that stuff.
Do you know how much a traditional radio costs nowadays? I mean, to pick up a free standing.
Well, they only come in automobiles now, don't they?
They have them. But they are super expensive, like a regular AM FM radio. Right. I guess that they've become so.
They're hipster now.
Because my mom was like, "Oh, it'd be nice if you guys had a radio in the kitchen that I could." I was like, "Oh, I'll go pick up a radio." And I went to the store and I looked. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Hey,
we talking like $100 for a radio?"
All I know is it was a heck of a lot more expensive than what I could. I'm thinking, the batteries will probably cost more than the radio. Not. I mean, I was like, unless they have a folded up, record player inside of this thing.
Jeez.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, man, I would, if I had a viable modern replacement for Spotify, I would easily drop Spotify.
It's just one of those things. I spend so much time listening to music and streaming stuff and pods and news things to and from work, and so it is definitely it's definitely become I'm super dependent on having it.
Yeah, for sure. I listen to a lot of music all the time too, and I like being able to find even small stuff. But I would still I've grown out of my high school, early college, internet phase of just get everything for free, get it all for free. I would, I'm comfortable supporting the bands that I like to actually buy copies of their stuff.
Napster. Two things that I've been.
But it's weird because over here, we don't have a car, so that was the only time that I would actually listen to radio. You know what I mean? And without that, then there is no kind of radio equivalent. There's no guy. I know Apple Music tried to do it, but then there's one more Apple thing that's probably overpriced for the sake of being overpriced. Yeah.
Well, as I'm going through all of our, because I don't know how many different services we have. And, Spotify is just a given. That thing is going to be around forever. They're just going to charge. It's just not even, it's just there. Netflix, Yes, that's another one that's a recurring charge that, but
I mean, yeah, that's like in terms of video streaming, that's like baseline. You got to have at least that one. Then everything else is an add-on.
Got a little bit of Disney Plus. That's been pretty good. Got a little bit of Apple Plus. That's another one that's been pretty good when they got stuff coming. Now they have a big Tom Hanks movie coming out. That's just going to be.
Yeah, I had it for a year when I bought my new MacBook.
Right.
That they give it to you free for a year or whatever.
Yeah.
But I watched like an architecture show and maybe one other thing, and I was just like, there was no content on it, and I was just like, yeah, okay. The production is amazing. It looks great, good sound quality and everything, but I'm just like Apple doesn't need any more of my money.
It's like, hey, honey, which one of these 4 things do you want to watch? It's like 4 items. But HBO Max, we have HBO Nordic. I've had HBO Nordic for a while and have liked it, but have tapered off because the stuff that they've put out recently just hasn't done anything for me. So right as I'm about to cut that umbilical cord from HBO Nordic, all of a sudden they're like, boom, now we're HBO Max.
Yeah, now they got Warner.
Now they got a bunch of stuff in there that I haven't seen or.
No, the thing about HBO Nordic too is that it's got stuff that HBO US doesn't have, like other network stuff. It's got like FX shows and all that kind of thing.
But now they got right when I'm about to cut HBO Nordic off, all of a sudden it's like boom.
They suck you back in.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm getting rid of. Oh, that's a nice purple logo. It's like they are all over the place.
So did you end up watching?
No, it was I put
because that's serious time.
But I had put it up there as a choice. The choices when Adrian was home this weekend, when we were going to have movie night, me, Adrian, and Lena. I show previews. I'm like, okay, we can do Dune. This new movie, it's going to be fantastic. A little bit, I know, of the sci-fi.
It's not a new movie. It's a remake.
It's a remake. And then it was Idris Elba has a new Western movie.
Oh, come on.
The Harder They Fall. It's called The Harder They Fall. So I put those 2 up there. And I kind of knew, Lena's not completely against watching Dune. She is not into sci-fi that much. I
mean, Dune is very high convoluted sci-fi too.
But I think that when I showed her the preview, it was just pretty much far enough out there to where she was like, yeah, I could probably watch that. But we watched Idris. so Dune is still Dune is still on the in the queue.
Now, has Adrian ever seen the original?
I'm 99% sure that he
Sting.
hasn't. Yeah, with Sting and
Patrick Stewart
and Sting and Sting.
And that, like the main character, I always forget his name, but he's like he was in Sex and the City.
No, wait. He was wasn't he
McDougal, right?
Yeah. But he was in that weird Seattle series during the 80s. What was that thing with the town?
Frasier?
No, it wasn't a comedy. It was like a weird. Now I can't remember it. I will remember it eventually.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. But anyway, I think he's the main character. He was in that. I don't know if he was a police detective or if he was.
Oh wow! Yeah, I don't know.
But
I just remember trying to watch that movie when I was a kid, and it was like, what in the world is going on with this movie? What is the plot?
I just remember watching, going, "Wow, that's pretty far out there, man." I like it. It's cool.
I like that their eyes glow blue. But, man. Yeah. Like, what? Why weren't sandworms in the rest of the movie that we've been sitting here hours watching?
Hey, dude, where did those go from? It was like, what was it, like 80? It was 80 something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
While on the topic of kind of movie-ish stuff, you know that I was recording a little bit of voiceover stuff on.
That's right.
So I went up to the big city and to a little sound studio up there, and had kind of a fun experience with it, without going into details about a bunch of stuff. I got a script went up there, was prepared to read. It was like a little newscaster feel, and then they added there was like some military stuff ish. It had to be like radio chatter, kind of talk, background stuff. And the woman that was handling the recording stuff, as I was doing the lines, she was like, "Oh, wow, that sounded really good. That was good. We'll keep that, and we'll do that, and maybe we'll do this a little bit slower." And she's like, "Hey, can you like lay into these lines a little bit?" So towards the end of the recording session that we're doing, I was like, "Is there anything else you want to try?" And she said, "Well, could you do that last part? Which was like this military commander kind of thing." But could you actually throw in like some curse words? I mean, like, like some good American, curse words. Woo! Wow. I don't know if she was.
So you pulled out your best George.
Oh
Carlin?
My goodness! Hey, I was like, I definitely, I went all in. I was like, okay. I was like, if that's what you want. And I stepped back from the microphone a little bit, and she was like, "Don't worry, I'll control the volume from here. You just go ahead and do it." And I definitely let loose, and it felt kind of therapeutic.
Just picture that Pendeltog train in your head.
Oh yeah, I was definitely laid into it. You would have been.
Listen up, Private Johnson. You're going to get over here right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a good mixture of like some rap lyrics, as well as
tossing a little Gordon Ramsay. You
there
donut.
Was a touch of Compton with a little bit of this. And no, she really liked it, but you could see her eyes kind of changed a little bit. I don't think that she was expecting that type, because up till then we had a very light and airy
yeah. Prepare yourself. I've seen
interaction. Oh yeah, she definitely got an earload there.
Oh, I love it. That's like, all the kids you always hear on the train, the teenagers trying to drop in a little English curse words here and there. I'm like, wouldn't be like, no, kids, that's not how you do it. If you really want to use it, you use it like this.
From your gut. It's got to come from deep inside.
Yeah, and combine it, get the cheat codes, get the Mortal Kombat combo going on.
You'd be like, wait, hold on for a second. I'm going to call my friend Rodney and put him on speakerphone.
Exactly.
Go ahead and give him a big dose.
Well, hey, man, to change tracks completely away from dropping F-bombs in a recording studio with the crazy cold weather that started yesterday, and it was gray and wet and just disgusting. I started Dylan on a new round of swim classes.
Oh. Outdoors?
No. Yeah, polar bear swim. You crazy? Wow. No, it's a Vattenhuset in Sickla. Okay. So I get there, and it's in the building is called Quarantine. Like, it looks like almost like quarantine, but with a C instead of a Q. It's weird. And there's no sign. I'm looking around. Where's Vattenhuset? Where is it? Where's the entrance? I go up to what looks like double doors, like a sliding door, and the sensor's not working. It's turned off, I guess, for the weekend. Like, okay. So I'm walking around this building for circles and circles and circles. And then I finally see this random pin code thing on like a small door next to those big double doors. And I'm like, well, let me check this out. And then still you get in there and there's no signage or anything until you're like deep in the elevator. And then you're just like, well, I'm going down. We'll see what happens. Right. But then we got there, me and him. He was a perfect gentleman about changing into the swimsuit, and then didn't so much want to do the shower before getting in the pool. He was just like, nah, we're not doing this. But then the water was like, I don't know, 33 degrees it was heated to. It was nice and balmy. Yeah, so that was nice. And it's chlorinated, but it's not highly chlorinated like you would see at a YMCA or something like that. Because they have small kids getting it, so they can't do that much chlorine. So you smell it a little bit, but not that much. So you're just kind of enjoying the warm water.
Nice.
And then, of course, you have to get out of the pool after 20, 30 minutes that the class is. And then you got to dry off that monster, put all the clothes back on him. And he's kind of sticky. And then you have to go back out into that cold weather. And it's just now. Well, I regret the water.
Yeah. Well, you definitely don't need hair gel because you know that it's just going to get stiff.
It'll just freeze in place. That's great.
Yes.
Oh, man.
A quick one on freezing. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm extremely clean shaven for it being Movember. And the reason being is that I was really tired on Friday morning. And for some reason, I closed my eyes while shaving. And just long enough to where I heard the and I took maybe a good half inch.
I took off
half, and then I looked at it and I was like, Lena! And she came and she was like, well,
get in the silver tape.
She's like, well, that's going to grow out again. And I'm like, yeah, but then my kind of design asymmetrical stuff kicked in and I started trimming the other side. And then we got to an area where I was just like, this.
Yeah, you get too close to the Hitler.
I was like, no, we're going to have to start this one all over again. But
just go to mid-December then. Just keep stretching it out.
Yeah, but I noticed as soon as I went outside, I was like, well, that's a little chilly.
Hey, man, that's what happens when I get a haircut because I get the clippers pretty close, around the back and sides. And then, I try and stretch it out, because haircuts here, they'll get pricey for a guy's haircut. And then afterwards, you step back outside, especially in the winter, and you're like, oh, my God, my head's naked. Where's my clothes? Where's my hat? It's freezing out here. What happened? And that's all the time we have for this week's session. You know the drill at this point, everybody. Be sure to go check us out on Instagram, see everything that we got going on outside of the pod, and then come back here next time for more Two Guys, Three Crowns.